just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome. There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, with minds that rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time has somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the hearts revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. 'Cause this is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts come close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me where the magic happens, feeling all the hearts ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever, the secret is whenever, the secret is together we are.
Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday service here at CSL St. George. We're so happy you've joined us on this beautiful fall equinox. Now the days start getting shorter, but we're glad you're here with us. So our purpose is to love, teach, guide, and support a spiritual community in creating and living a life they love, using science of mind, spirit, principles, and practices. Our vision here at CSL St. George is that we are a community-focused center, actively living, sharing, and nurturing its members and friends so that all may live their best lives. Our mission statement states that we are an open, inclusive, and evolving spiritual community that supports its purpose and vision through the following ways: sacred wisdom celebrations, empowering transformative education, youth and young adult programs, dynamic music ministry, and community inreach, as well as community outreach. Today's service team, we have practitioner Bill Smith behind the scenes, making this flow beautifully. My name is Gwen Hadley. I'll be hosting today. We have Alan Stanley, our wonderful singer, songwriter in the house, doing our music. We have practitioner Sue Fulmer, who will be doing our invocation prayer. And of course, now we have Reverend Rachael giving our message today. So glad that she's able to join us. So with that, I'm going to invite Alan to come sing a song for us. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Gwen. Hello, everybody. Wonderful day to you all. So we're going to relax a little bit and sit back and sing a little song or hum along if you'd like. And then Sue's going to come in and offer our invocation. Then we'll come back and sing a little bit more. So just sit back and ponder this. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. In your eyes I see a light that's shining through. You radiate such grace, and so I bow to you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. You give your loving heart to everyone you see. The way you live your life inspires me. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you.
Namaste. Beautiful. I'd like to first acknowledge that many nations paused yesterday for the International Day of Peace. Mary Davis, in our Science of Mind daily guide, says, use your daily spiritual practice to nourish your soul and locate the coordinates of the calm center within. From your calm center, use the power of prayer to send out radiant light to the planet, to all suffering beings from your calm center. Use the power of your words to uplift and to empower, to build up and to bring together. Love, peace, and prayer are not the stuff of spiritual lightweights, but the greatest, most powerful forces in the universe. So let us use our Sunday spiritual practice to find our calm center and to use the power of prayer. and that we use the power of affirmative prayer. Join me. I find that calm center. And as I breathe and as I allow time and moment in this time of sacred prayer, I feel that hovering spirit, knowing it is here, the Spirit of God, the Spirit that guides, instructs, loves, and protects us. And I know by the warm feeling in my heart that that Spirit is part of me, and it is part of all creation, all part of all that is the one. And I am grateful today to be part of this presentation, knowing that the words that are spoken will bring peace, will send out into the airwaves through our internet miracles the message of Rev Rachael today, that our thoughts will reflect love and peace, that our actions will reflect love and peace, and that the world will mirror back to us the things that we are believing in and sharing with our namaste. Knowing that all goes smoothly, that each part taking place today will energize our spirits and will send peace around the world. In gratitude and an acknowledgement for the law of God working on our behalf for the best and greatest good. I send my word out, knowing it never comes back without multiplying. I speak my word and say, and so it is. Amen.
So it is. Thank you, Sue. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste. I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. Namaste, namaste, I see the beauty in you. Now we'd like to bring Sue back to offer our reading for us.
Thank you. So I want to read from Chapter 6 of The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent by Jerry and Esther Hicks. Esther is the voice for the spiritual teachers referred to as Abraham. Quote, "You may not yet be completely aware of your vibrational nature. You are a vibrational being living in a vibrational universe. In fact, everything is vibrational. As you give your attention to something, an idea, a memory, a situation you are observing, a dream or fantasy that you are visualizing, you are actually activating vibration. And as your focus causes that activation, that vibrational content now becomes your point of attraction. Whenever you think about anything, its vibrational content becomes an active part of your vibrational essence, and the subject of your attention begins to move towards you. Most people do not realize that thinking about something is inviting the essence of that something into their experience." Unquote. I became acquainted with the work of Esther Hicks and Abraham in about 2004. My sweetheart, Larry, had been listening to tapes of their public sessions, and when I started dating him, he shared those tapes with me. He said that when he first listened to them, he got goosebumps, and the same thing happened to me, goosebumps or God bumps. The teachings were just what I needed. I had been a worrier all my life, as patterned by my dear mother. If I was concerned about something, I went into obsessive thinking. Over and over again, a thought would play in my mind. I couldn't let it go. So I applied the teachings of Abraham to my thinking, and it changed my life. If you know me, you know I'm a pretty positive thinker. I keep a close watch on my thoughts because I know that my thinking is creating my reality. And to create peace in my life, I keep it positive. And so it is. Namaste.
So it is. Namaste, Sue. Sometimes I think I know my path, but sometimes I might just go off on the one fork in the road, and eventually I'll realize this isn't the road that I want to be on. So then I'll head back, and then I'm so elated when I realize I'm back on that path again, and it's just so joyful to know that I had returned to that path. These shoes have worn thin, and the dust that covers them gives a clue to where I've been. But now I've returned to a hope that nurtures me, and love that's remedy from all the lies and doubts and the shame that seemed unending. Now I'm awakening. I stand and sing. I return to the source of my creation, opening to my place of transformation. Now I see love lives in me. I return to the glory of our oneness, flourishing, fearless, free, and fully conscious. Mightily I stand and sing. I have returned. Day after day, there are many paths to choose. Some we win and some we lose. Still all lead to one, where the hearts that tarry there believe in love beyond compare. Finally I trust your embrace and give thanks for the journey here. Yes, I'm awakening. I stand and sing. I return to the source of my creation, opening to my place of transformation. Now I see love lives in me. I return to the glory of our oneness, flourishing, fearless, free, and fully conscious. Mightily I stand and sing. I have returned. I have returned. I have returned.
Thank you, Alan. One of my favorite songs. It's been a while since you played that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. So in just a moment, I'm going to invite Reverend Rachael in to deliver our message. Good morning, Rachael.
Good
And
morning, Gwen. Thank
how are
you. I'm wonderful. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful on this autumn day.
I know. I got my sweater on.
I have my scarf. As long as my neck is warm, I'm good. So
Yes.
take it away.
Well, thank you. The idea of returning to who you are, who I am. You know, we spend a lot of our lives doing that, trying to find out who we are and then returning to the authentic nature of who we are. Yeah, that's a great song. Thank you, Alan. I loved it too. So have you ever had that feeling where it's warm inside, that warm feeling, that knowingness, that calmness? When I think of peace, that's what I think of, that warm feeling, that light inside. And I know that I spent a lot of time working at being there and being in that space, which is wonderful. But first of all, let's define peace. We've been spending the entire month at this point looking at pieces of peace. What are the components? What we need to put together so that we can live in a place of peace inside as well as outside, in the outside reality as well as the inside reality. So when I looked it up, it says freedom from disorder or tranquility, no war. Well, Ernest Holmes says, there's a quote. Can we see the quote? Thank you. We want peace on earth. Let us pray for peace in our hearts. Let us affirm peace in our minds. Let us live as though peace were a mandate from God, because it is. So when Ernest Holmes talks about world peace or peace on earth, he goes back to what's happening inside of us, what's happening inside of me right here and right now. So the first step to world peace is inner peace, that I can feel the peace in me. And you know, like I said earlier, there's this vibration. Actually, that was Sue that said that, the vibration, and that creates that attraction. But how do we get ourselves there? You know, the other day I was out with some friends, and these 4 friends that we hang out all the time, and I enjoy their company. And so I walked into the room expecting a certain experience, as we normally do. And when we had 2 new people, and kind of shifted the experience. And so I remember sitting in after food was eaten and we're having our conversation, that all of a sudden I was feeling alone and detached. And I thought, well, that is curious. And it got to the point where I'm like, I think I'm going to go home now. And I said goodbye to everybody, and I got into the car and feeling sad. And I thought, okay, what's going on with me right now? And I don't know if you've ever had that experience of just feeling detached and alone. And so I had to really sit and think about it. So there's 3 things that I always go back to when I'm trying to get myself back to center. And that's being compassionate, having forgiveness, and being curious to what the situation is, understanding what just happened. So that's what I did as I was driving home. I gave myself, the love and the compassion of, okay, this is how I'm feeling, and that's okay. And then I went into forgiveness, forgiving myself for detaching from the group and knowing that my friends didn't do anything purposefully or purposely or not on purpose. Now that makes kind of sense, to hurt my feelings. And so then it got curious of what just happened. And I think what happened is the conversation drifted to more personal conversations with everybody. And I really wasn't interested or part of that interaction. And so by the time I got home, my 20 to 30 minute drive, I was like, okay, I've centered myself again. I'm now back in that place of peace. And I just got new kittens. They're 9 weeks old now. And I went and I watched my kittens play. And I felt the warmth inside again and the glow inside. And so it takes effort every moment, every day, for us to recenter ourselves to be in that state of peace. It's not something that just happens to us. It's something that we work at, that we create, that we consciously create that vibration, and then we bring it in with that law of attraction that Sue was talking about earlier. So if peace affects me inside, does it affect the people around me? And I would have to say yes. So we have another quote. Peace is not something that we wish for. It's something that you make, something that you do, something that you are, and something that you give away, by John Lennon. Yes, the John Lennon. And so what does that mean? Well, it means that the way we are and the way we show up in the world kind of ripples out to the individuals that we're interacting with, whether that's the clerk at the store, or my wonderful husband, or the family, or the people I encounter at work. It all kind of emulates from me. It's like when we drop a pebble into the water and it just ripples out. I'll give you an example. It was May, and we were doing a memorial service for my mother-in-law, Linda, and she had passed about a year before that. And we were in Lake Geneva in Wisconsin, where she had swam as a young girl with her brother. And I decided that my job was just to witness, just to be part of and witness the event. And so I was in a very calm, loving, peaceful space. And my sister-in-law did a wonderful job in organizing and creating this memorial service for Linda. And at the very end, she asked if I would do a prayer, and of course. So I do the prayer, and they finished their ceremony. And then at the end, they all came and gave me a hug and thanked me. And my oldest, or my husband's oldest sister, came and gave me an extra long hug. And she whispered in my ear, "Thank you for being such a pillar of peace. I feel it." And I thought, wow, that was not my intention. My intention was just to witness. But because of where I was at, it emulated out, and Karen felt that peace, as I assume everybody else on the flat bottom boat did as well. So can it be more than that? I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine who's also a practitioner. And she said, sometimes her and some of the congregants of the center that she belongs to, they go to Metro and do prayers for the police department. And one time she went there, one of the officers that she was dealing with said, "Thank you so much for coming." And the reason is because every time we have people come and pray for for Metro, as well as the areas around where the high crime rate is, we see a statistical shift or drop in crime rate in that area. And I was like, really? How interesting. So it's not just about me. It's not just about what I'm feeling inside. It's what I bring to the table, and it can affect an entire area. And the officer said, it doesn't matter the faith. It's when that clear intention comes in to make a difference that the difference shows up. Crime rates drop. So I was thinking, do I have experiences like that in my life? And it took me back to, I was at a 9-day retreat. It was all women. There was about 100 women there. And we were given an assignment. And that assignment was to come up with a contract that everybody all the women of the seminar could agree on. So consensus, and then it was to be signed. And we started, probably about 5:00 in the evening. And our job was we couldn't leave until everybody had agreed and come to consensus. So I was really clear that it was not my job to lead that discussion at that time, but my job was to hold the space, to know that there was peace and collaboration and cooperation. And so I sat down on the floor and I kind of went into a meditation, just holding the space of love. And at one point I opened my eyes and kind of looked around the room, and I saw someone over there, and I saw someone over there, and I saw someone over there sitting and holding the space. There's probably maybe about 4, 5, 6 of us in this state of holding the space, this love, this peace. And it took about maybe 2.5, 3 hours. And finally, we all had come to an agreement, and everybody had signed the document, and we were all gone for the night and, went to our own spaces. And in the morning, when we all came back together, I'm hearing the staff, and there's like a buzz. And finally, they disclosed to us that that was the fastest they'd ever seen that exercise accomplished. Usually it took 6, 7 hours. And there had been occasions when it just was not completed. And I truly believe it was through holding that space and that peace and that love that allowed the cooperation to happen and to happen to so quickly. It was pretty amazing. So if that is the truth, if my openness, along with other people's openness and love and vibration, attracts that peace, well, has anybody done any studies on this? And they have. So I picked up a book I think it was last year actually, called The Power of Eight. I don't know if any of you have heard of this book. It's a good book. It's written by Lynn McTaggart. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And she was a journalist, and she had heard this concept of clear intention, I'll call it prayer, to affect the outcomes of different events. And so she went and she talked to some scientists she knew, and she started off with plants. And so she got these scientists to do this experiment where they had their control group. They took seeds and they put them in the pot in the soil and gave them plenty of water and sunlight. And then they had the intention plants. And in the intention plants, they had people that would come and basically have clear intention or pray over these plants to grow and to thrive and to move and to be better plants. And the most bizarre thing happened, or what we expect would happen, is the control group, they grew, but the intention plants grew better and faster and bigger and greener. The cool thing is they've been able to duplicate or replicate this experiment again and again and again. So the journalist said, well, can we do it with something other than plants? Could we do it with water? And she had seen The Secret, as I'm sure most of you have, that talked about the Japanese scientists that actually froze the water and would slice off sheets and look at it under a microscope to see the crystallization. And the ones that got love and positive affirmation were these beautiful crystallizations. And the ones that got icky, yucky, horrible things said to it had these ucky and mucky, those were technical terms, slides crystallization. So she went to this Japanese, and I know some of you are telling me the name of the scientist, I'm not remembering at the moment, and wanted to do more experiments. So she got some other scientists to buy in, and they decided the experiment would be, could they take lake water and increase or decrease the pH by 1%? And so they went in and they do the science, how they do the science, and they do the experiment as they do experiment. And the answer was yes, they could change the pH balance through intention, higher or lower, depending on what that intention was. And so in the book, they take it one more step, and they go to Sri Lanka. They decided they wanted to see if they could affect war, and could they bring peace. So Sri Lanka had this war going on for decades, the government against a militia. And they actually kept really good records. And that's why they chose this particular war, because one, they had documentation, they had records of daily deaths, monthly deaths. They had the explosions, the bombs, everything. And so they were able to go in, and what they did is they took 10,000 individuals, 10,000 people online as well as in person. And for 3 days, for a certain amount of time each day, they'd all come together and they would pray. They would have clear intention of peace, of love, of truth. And it was fascinating, because what they found is the war, and then when the prayer happened, it escalated a little bit, and then it deflated. And then by May of 2009, because this was happening in 2008 at the end of the year, they had peace and the war ended. Now, was it this conglomerate of clear intention, shifting of vibration? Maybe. But when you're doing experiments, one time isn't enough to prove it as a fact. So in 2011, they decided to do it again. And this time they did it in Afghanistan. And they only focused on the southern parts. And so they did the same experiment, obviously tweaking a couple of things to make it more effective. And in the end, what they found is when the statistics were looked at, when the happenings were examined, the same thing happened in Sri Lanka as it did in Afghanistan. Now, obviously, we know that the peace didn't happen in Afghanistan at that point. That would happen several years later. But the same trend happened. And so the idea is, can we really make something happen? Can we, with our peace and our intention, create something different in the world? Well, there's a quote. Thank you. Individual peace is a unit of world peace. A peaceful world is possible only if it consists of individuals with peaceful minds and peaceful physiology. So we think that it is possible as long as we continue to go back to the individual and having peace in ourselves. So let's think this about a little bit. Let's go back to principle, because we always go back to principle, knowing that there is only one, right? There is only one mind, one truth, one race consciousness, one life. That is God life. That life is my life now, right? So if there is only one, then the consciousness that I experience, if I'm doing it not on a level of awareness, is I'm receiving that race consciousness, right? That human race consciousness, which is created by all of our thoughts combined, all of the people in the past, all of the people in the future, all as one in this one mind, right? But if I'm aware and I am purposefully putting peace into that consciousness because I have peace here, and that's the only way it can happen, right? Starting here and then moving out, then I am literally affecting the world in that one moment. Each moment that I have peace in myself, I affect the race consciousness, creating more peace in the oneness that is God. So we know that there's 5 parts to our spiritual mind treatment. The third part is that declaration of what it is that I want, the intention that I want. We've talked about in the past the first 2. So now we're talking about the third part. And I like to call it the what if game. So you guys know the what if game, right? When we were kids, we'd talk about the what if. Well, what if you saw a monster? What would you do? Or what if there was an apocalypse? What would you do? And normally when we played the what if game when we were kids, it was all about all the horrible things that can happen. I like to flip it and think about what if the thing that I want to happen, to have, to create has already happened. What if? And to feel it, because it's through the feeling that we create. The words of spiritual mind treatment are powerful, but what truly makes things demonstrate or create demonstration is the feeling behind it. So let's play the game right now. I want you to think about the thing you want, either want to have or want to create. And maybe that is world peace. And so in that knowingness and that thought of what that is, not the how, but the what, imagine what that feels like. What if we had that right here and right now? What if that was created right here and right now? How does that feel? Oh, it feels warm in my heart. What does it feel like in yours? What if this was the truth of what was happening right here and right now? What if our country was in love? And I declare that to be the truth right here and right now. And through that vibrational change, something just shifted. Something just changed, because that's how it works. Isn't that amazing? I love what we do in this teaching, going back to that basic principle of oneness, of creation, of the asking the what and not necessarily the how, to create the life that works for me, that works for you. It's beautiful. So there is an affirmation. Can we see that? I imagine the world living peacefully as one. Let's say that together. I imagine the world living peacefully as one. What if? What if that was the truth? What does that feel like? Let's pray. So knowing that God is all there is, all knowing, all powerful, all present, knowing that God is the whole, the complete, the light, the love, the truth. It is all that there is, the energy that flows in and of and through all things. I know that I am of and from and in and as this universal energy. It is who and what I am right here and right now. And in this knowingness, I know that there is peace in my heart, in the people around me that I interact with, and in the world, that there is love and compassion and forgiveness and truth and curiosity. And in this, we are all one. Again, in such gratitude, I release my word into the law, knowing it is done, done, done. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
What a beautiful message. Oh, thank you. I think we really needed to hear this, to remember how important it is to set that clear intention of peace. With all the turmoil in our country right now, we do have power, and we just need to make that part of our practice. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Gwen. I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Are you going to join us on Zoom today for just a little bit?
I that's my plan, yes.
Okay. We'll see you in a bit then.
Thank you.
So we have some announcements, some messages. Bill's going to pop them up so I can read them. Prayer requests, you can see the website there. Our practitioners are all so willing and loving to pray with you or for you, whatever you need. Exciting news, we, starting in October, are going to meet twice in person. So that will happen on October the 13th and on the 27th. So we invite you to come out. And on that note, we are actively looking for a new home so that we can meet every single Sunday. So keep that in your heart and in your intention. Again, join us at Zoom at noon. You can see the details and the link and the website and in the newsletter. Abundant prosperity, you are making this happen. So we are going to find a home. I just know we will. So there are ways you can support us by giving with Zelle. You can give online with PayPal or use the little QR code link or by mail, whichever way you choose to support us. We are so very, very grateful. So upcoming Sundays, next Sunday, we have Putting the Pieces Together, and it's our practitioners that will be doing that. And then October the 6th, we'll have Reverend Joe back, The Power Within. Now, Bill's going to pop up our closing affirmation, and we're all going to say it together. I invite you to say it out loud with us because it's very, very powerful. And here we are. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it, I embrace it, and I share it.
Just the way it is, and just the way it is becoming. Thank you.
Thank you,
Life.
Thank you, life. All right.
Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.
See you on Zoom.